Welcome back to the ACB Wrestling Talk channel, your main source for wrestling news and wrestling discussions. I'm, of course, your host, Alexis Carrillo, and let's get into some wrestling talk. Now, over the course of the past weekend, past Friday night Smackdown, tonight on Raw, WWE held their draft. Their first ever draft that involved the actual network executives involved in putting together the definitive rosters for both the Raw brand and the Smackdown brand on the USA Network and on the Fox Network, respectively. And one thing I want to say right from the top is I'm thrilled that they finally decided to separate these brands. I'm thrilled about that. Simply put, WWE has way too much talent to, feature all of it in two shows. To have two shows have a complete roster of about 60 to 70, maybe even 80 on-screen superstars. That's way too much talent going to waste. That's way too much talent not being featured on a weekly basis. So right here, right now, I'm going to talk about the top 5 surprises that the draft gave us, which, again, top 5 being that, it was pretty much a predictable draft. There wasn't that many surprises, but let's get right into it. And surprise number 1, I'm going to start with the top one, is the fact that the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, will be heading over to SmackDown. The Fiend will be on the Blue brand on Fox. We've read about the rumors online. Everyone on the USA Network, everyone on Fox, Paul Heyman, they're all high on the Fiend Bray Wyatt. They were all defending and pulling to keep Bray Wyatt on their brand. Ultimately, I think the money that Fox has invested in SmackDown's TV rights won over Paul Heyman's pull backstage. But again, like I said, these separate brands will only benefit these superstars because Bray Wyatt, with his brand new, multifaceted, multidimensional character, the Fiend, he's becoming very, very popular. And my one fear about him going to SmackDown brand is the fact that Roman Reigns is on the Blue brand. And if they pair up Roman Reigns versus Bray Wyatt, I think the fans might turn on Reigns once again, because again, the Fiend has been such a popular character. And one more thing I want to throw out about Bray Wyatt heading over to the Blue brand is the fact that Aleister Black did not follow him. Aleister Black was drafted to Raw. Now, in the long run, this might benefit him. We might have to wait a little bit more time to develop Aleister Black on the Raw brand. Hopefully that's their plan, but ultimately, you know what I called just a few days ago. I wanted Black and Wyatt on the same brand, and I wanted an epic rivalry between these two superstars. So, surprise number 2 was the fact that, these pretty much go hand in hand, and that is that Kevin Owens, who recently had a triumphant babyface run, not so high on his babyface run, not the fans, they weren't so high on Kevin Owens, but ultimately the story arc really benefited Kevin Owens on the SmackDown brand, on the Blue brand, and now he's drafted to Raw, which leads me to believe that, possibly Shane McMahon could return to SmackDown Live. Not SmackDown Live anymore, SmackDown. He is a McMahon after all, so ultimately McMahon's never stay fired. Shane will be back, and now Kevin Owens has to navigate through the Raw brand and see where that takes him. On that same note, we had Eric Rowan, who had a recent big heel run on SmackDown, turning on Daniel Bryan. Now he's moving to Raw, away from Luke Harper. That's what surprised me the most, because Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, are so connected in terms of characters and storylines that separating them right now, they've done that in the past, it didn't work so well. Hopefully this turns out for the better, because again, WWE.com still lists the Big Show and Kane as active members of the roster, and many people have touted Luke Harper and Eric Rowan as their successors. That hasn't quite gone through. So those are 3 of the top 5 surprises coming out of the draft. The other 2 are from the women's divisions. On Friday night, surprised the hell out of me when the boss herself, Sasha Banks, who's apparently suffering through an injury right now, but she got drafted to SmackDown. So, by all means, you're going to keep hearing It's Boss Time by Michael Cole on Friday Night SmackDown. And of course, you're keeping Bayley and Sasha Banks on the same brand. Bayley, the brand new and improved Bayley with the SmackDown Women's Championship. That's going to be interesting. And going further into the SmackDown brand, in terms of the women's division, a little weak on the babyface side. When you have heels as strong as Bayley, as strong as Sasha Banks, as strong as Lacey Evans, you need babyfaces to go up against them. You need strong babyfaces to go up against them. And right now, the strongest member of the SmackDown Women's Division is Ember Moon in terms of being a babyface, and she's not that high on the list in terms, as a babyface. She's not super over with the crowd yet, so it's going to be quite a tumultuous run on SmackDown for the women's division in the next few months. Obviously, they might have someone win the Women's Royal Rumble in January, make her a big star, and have her challenge either Bayley or Sasha Banks at WrestleMania for the title. We don't know, but again, that's one of the weak spots that the draft has left us. And going to the Raw Women's division, surprised the hell out of me that Charlotte Flair is once again being brought back to Raw, the Queen back to Raw, back to her arch nemesis, the many arch nemesis that she has, Becky Lynch, the man. So I'm guessing the IWC is going crazy with Becky Lynch versus Charlotte Flair, match number 10, match number 12, looking pretty clear in the future. We just got one tonight. I think we got one tonight. And now I'm also kind of, expecting Ronda Rousey to return to the Raw brand and possibly have a triple threat rematch at WrestleMania. It's possible, folks. Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair are on the Raw brand. They're both on the Raw brand. And Ronda Rousey, she's a free agent for now. When she returns, we'll see to which brand she returns. Now, John Cena, he's a movie star. Of course, he's a free agent. If and when he returns, I think he'll most likely head over to SmackDown. I think Fox will just love the fact that Cena would be able to go back to his roots on the blue brand. The Undertaker, you all know my opinion on The Undertaker. I think he's way past his prime. He should retire. I don't think he can handle it in the ring anymore. He's a great character, beautiful entrance, legendary entrance, great on the microphone. The ring leaves a lot to be desired. Sorry, Taker. I think you've overstayed your welcome. Again, I'm not gonna stop saying that. That's just what I think. Cain Velasquez is a free agent for now. Again, this is an even bigger question mark because there are reports online stating that Cain Velasquez has signed a contract with WWE, so he's going to be staying on for the long run. They might treat him as a Brock Lesnar-esque type deal and have him appear every other week, every other month, every other pay-per-view. We don't know until it actually happens. But again, not too high on WWE investing on superstars that, 1, 2, 3 years from now might not actually be a part of the roster any longer. And finally, the biggest surprise out of the free agent pool was the fact that Cesaro remained a free agent. Nobody drafted Cesaro to Raw or to SmackDown. Again, Cesaro, a very talented superstar in the ring, one of the strongest pound-for-pound superstars on the WWE roster, bar none. Again, mic skills need a lot of work for Cesaro, but he's a free agent. Other than that, both rosters are looking pretty strong. We kept pretty much the titles stayed where they are. 24/7 champion R-Truth being separated from Carmella. Again, 24/7 championship being one of the best, most entertaining facets of WWE television over the past few months. And even though R-Truth is a 24/7 champion, that might not allow him to appear on SmackDown anymore, but the title could still change hands at any pay-per-view and can change brands. So those are the top 5 surprises coming out of the draft. Obviously, there's a lot to look over. There's the large rosters, a lot of potential on both the main event, the mid-card, the women's division, the tag team divisions. And I just gotta state this, okay? And I'm talking to every single WWE creative and every single WWE executive member in Stamford, Connecticut. Make this a long-term thing. This draft, this brand extension, this separating the brands has to be a long-term solution. This has to last 3 to 5 years, maybe even more, maybe even forever. Don't make the bullshit excuse of saying, oh, the ratings have gone down on Raw. The ratings have gone down on Smackdown. Let's combine the rosters. Let's create a stupid wild card rule in hopes that the ratings come back, that the viewers come back and are interested in our gimmick modifications. Again, you want long-term change, build better characters, build better storylines, create better television. You're competing not only with other wrestling companies out there, you're competing with every single form of entertainment, every single form of sports out there. Keep that in mind. Because 6 months from now, 1 year from now, I'm going to be really pissed if WWE pulls, hey, we're combining it into another Raw Super Show. Remember that era? Again, that's all I ask as a fan and looking forward to Raw and SmackDown building up new stars for the future, because this is the way to build towards the future. This is the way to feature guys like Andrade and Ricochet and R-Truth on Raw, and guys like Ali and Chad Gable on SmackDown. This is the way to build them up. Give them time. Don't block their opportunities with other more established stars. So those are my thoughts on this draft. Again, excited for the future. But again, the rosters didn't change that much. Now we have exclusivity. We'll just have to wait and see how WWE Creative handles that. So with that said, what did you think about the draft? Did you like every single draft selection? Would you have preferred some superstars to have switched sides and create better stories? Leave your thoughts, comments, and predictions for what's going to happen in the next few weeks and months in the comments section below. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you dislike this video, hit the dislike button. That's it for me. Till next time.